You know that feeling when you're lying in bed at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, scrolling through Instagram in the dark, and your thumb is just on autopilot? You see your college friend posting from another rooftop brunch with the caption, "Living my best life." You see someone unboxing a new designer bag. You see a coworker on what looks like their third vacation this year. And you're sitting there in sweatpants that have seen better days, eating leftovers, wondering what you're doing wrong with your life. And there's this heavy sinking feeling in your chest, this mix of anxiety, FOMO, and honestly, a little bit of shame. You start doing mental gymnastics, maybe if I just got that promotion or if I could just afford that trip, then you'd finally feel successful. Then you'd finally feel okay. Here's the wild part, and this might sound counterintuitive. That feeling has almost nothing to do with how much money you actually have. You could double your salary tomorrow, and without understanding the psychological trap we're about to unpack, you'd be back in this exact same emotional state 6 months from now. The Instagram lifestyle isn't just draining your bank account, it's quietly rewiring your brain to keep you broke, anxious, and perpetually chasing the next hit of "I'm doing okay too." My name is Neo, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, specifically how social media messes with your financial psychology without you even noticing. If you're someone who wants to build actual peace of mind with your money instead of just looking wealthy for strangers on the internet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it ends up giving you a totally new way to see your spending and your feed. Most financial gurus will tell you this is about discipline. They'll say, just stop buying dumb stuff and invest instead, or delete Instagram and budget better. The conventional wisdom treats this like a willpower problem. If you weren't so weak, you wouldn't buy that bag just because you saw it online. Most people think the solution is purely tactical. Track your spending, unsubscribe from marketing emails, maybe take a social media detox for a week, and everything will be fine, right? But here's the thing they're missing, and honestly, it's the most important part. The Instagram lifestyle trap isn't a spending problem first. It's an identity problem and a comparison problem. Your brain is trying to answer one question: who am I compared to everyone else my age? And because of that, your money decisions stop being about what works for your life and start being about not feeling left behind. Here's where it gets interesting. The core idea is this: Instagram and similar platforms have created the first generation in human history where your daily reference point for normal life isn't your neighbors or coworkers, it's a curated highlight reel of the top 1% moments from hundreds of people, all compressed into an endless feed that your brain processes as this is what everyone else is doing. Think about that for a second. This isn't just about one purchase. It's your brain recalibrating what normal looks like. 10 years ago, a weekend at home and hanging with friends was just life. Now, when your friends post quick weekend in Miami 3 times a year, your brain is like, wait, am I failing? Psychologically, what's happening is called social comparison theory, mixed with what philosopher Ren Girard called mimetic desire. We don't know what to want, so we copy other people's desires to figure out what's valuable. But Instagram has you comparing yourself to people in completely different economic realities. Tech workers making $200K, people whose parents are wealthy, literal influencers who get paid to promote luxury lifestyles. Your sense of enough is like a thermostat. Instagram quietly walks into the room and cranks that thermostat up 5 degrees every year. Your income? Maybe it's inching up 1 degree at a time. That gap between the life you see and the life you can actually afford is where anxiety, shame, and impulsive spending live. Once you realize the trap is psychological first, you stop asking, how do I afford this lifestyle? And start asking, why do I think I need this lifestyle to feel okay in the first place? That's the psychological shift that can change how you spend for the rest of your life. Let's break down what this Instagram lifestyle trap actually does to your brain and your money, step by step. When you don't have the Instagram lifestyle, your brain operates in this weird low-level survival mode. Not full panic, but this background hum of I'm behind. Research from the University of Pennsylvania found that people who limited social media to 30 minutes a day reported significantly lower levels of depression and loneliness. Another study in Computers in Human Behavior linked Instagram use with higher envy and decreased life satisfaction. That envy doesn't just sit there. It turns into financial anxiety. I should be traveling more. Everyone my age seems to be doing better. I'm working so hard, and for what? Let me give you an example. You've had a rough week. You're tired, maybe burnt out. You open Instagram. First story, coworker in Greece. Second, friend bought a new car. Third, someone's on a casual $200 dinner date. Your brain doesn't go, wow, what a curated highlight reel. It goes, I'm losing. So when you get that next paycheck, you're not deciding what to buy. You're deciding subconsciously, how can I stop feeling behind? That $80 dinner, the I deserve it shopping, the last minute flights start feeling less like luxuries and more like emotional necessities. Here's the kicker. You're not chasing status. You're chasing relief. When you live inside the Instagram bubble, you slowly become the type of person who, in your own head, I'm the type of person who travels a lot, or who eats at nice places, or who always looks put together. There's research from the Journal of Consumer Research showing we'll spend more to maintain an identity we've broadcast to others, even when it doesn't make us happier. I had a friend who was the travel person in our group, always posting airport stories, new cities, spontaneous weekends. Then one day they admitted, I'm so tired, but I feel like if I stop traveling, just nobody. That's the identity trap. Their trips weren't about joy anymore. They were about not losing this version of themselves they'd built online. Before I spend to express who I am, after the shift, I build who I am, then spend in ways that support that, quietly, not for the feed. When your brain is in comparison mode, your decisions shrink to the short term. You're not thinking, what do I want my life to look like in 5 years? You're thinking, how do I not feel lame this weekend? Your brain's reward system fires every time you get likes or that temporary high from buying something new. So instead of asking, does this purchase move me toward freedom? You're asking, does this purchase move me closer to the version of me I want people to see? You've got $300 left after bills. Option A, boring emergency fund. No one sees it, no dopamine hit. Option B, new outfit, fancy dinner, weekend trip. Tons of photos, comments, stories. On paper, you know option A is better. But psychologically, option B feels more real because it's visible. Month after month, option B wins. Not because you're bad with money, but because your environment rewards short-term, visible choices. When your mental energy is spent trying to not feel behind, you literally can't see certain opportunities. According to the Federal Reserve, 37% of Americans would struggle with a $400 emergency. At the same time, Bankrate found nearly half of Americans took on debt for non-essential purchases last year. That's the Instagram effect in numbers. No cushion, but vibes are immaculate. The people who quietly skip a couple Instagram lifestyle moments each year and redirect that money, they start seeing opportunities you can't see when you're paycheck to paycheck. New jobs, risks they can take, moves they can make, because they have breathing room. When you're living close to the edge financially, but trying to keep up visually, you start making weird trade-offs. You stay in jobs you hate because you need the income. You say yes to every expensive social plan because you're scared of seeming broke. A PwC report found 57% of employees say finances are their top stress cause, and 49% say this distracts them at work. Imagine your team planning a fun $600 weekend trip. You know that's your whole margin for the month, but saying I'm not in a place to spend that feels humiliating. So you go, put it on a card, get the photos, get temporary relief, but Monday hits, and now you're trapped in another month of stress. Once you build even a little walking away money, you show up differently. You're no longer making decisions from please don't think I'm less than. You're operating from I know who I am, with or without this weekend. The Instagram lifestyle trap isn't about one splurge. It's about trying to live up to something every single month. Say you overspend by $300 monthly chasing this lifestyle. That's $3,600 a year. If you invested that $300 monthly in a basic index fund, earning 7% annually, over 10 years, approximately $51,000, over 20 years, approximately $147,000, over 30 years, over $350,000. Text monthly investment clicks $300. Text annual return clicks 7%. Text 30-year future value clicks $300 times. Frax 105833611.005 Every year of keeping up in your 20s doesn't just cost you a trip, it's quietly costing you actual freedom later. But here's where most people mess this up. They swing from one extreme to another. Mistake. #1. I'm never going out again. Just grinding and saving. That lasts about 3 weeks before deprivation kicks in and they binge spend. Mistake. #2. Trying to keep the exact same lifestyle but be better with money using willpower alone. No environment changes, just vibes and shame. Mistake. #3. Focusing only on tactics. Which app should I use? Without addressing the deeper question, why do I feel like I need to perform my life to feel worthy? The better approach isn't to kill joy. It's to redesign your identity so that normal for you is different. So that savings and breathing room feel as satisfying as that egg story used to. This isn't about stop buying lattes. It's about becoming the type of person who doesn't need to prove anything with their lifestyle. The real flex is quiet, walking into any Tuesday with no credit card anxiety, a stack of savings backing you up, and the ability to say yes or no based on what you want, not what makes you look good. Every dollar you spend on the Instagram lifestyle has two costs. The cost today and the opportunity cost of what that money could have been doing over time. That $300 monthly and keeping up money, over 30 years at 7%, that's the difference between I have to work this job and I choose to work this job. Let's do a reality check with some compassionate math. Your average Instagram lifestyle month might include 2 extra nice dinners, $160, 1 big night out, $121, I deserve this shopping, $150, random Ubers instead of transit, $60, impulse purchases, $60, that's $550. Let's say $400 is truly extra, driven by keeping up. $400 times 12 text months, cluck $4,800 text tech per year, $1. Compare two scenarios over 20 years. Keep spending that $400 month. Amazing photos, but you still panic when your car makes weird sounds. Dial it down to $200 a month, invest the other $200. $200 text taxes monthly at 7% for 20 years, $98,000. That's not just numbers. That's not panicking when you lose a job, saying no to toxic work, moving cities if you want, helping family when it matters. The core message is this. The Instagram lifestyle trap isn't about the app. It's about the story you tell yourself when you see other people's lives. You can keep letting that story be, I'm behind, I need to catch up. Or you can rewrite it as I'm building something most people never will. Quiet freedom in a life that actually fits me, not my followers. This isn't about never traveling or living some joyless life. It's about a psychological shift from performing to owning your life. From I hope they think I'm doing well to I know I'm building something real, even if they can't see it. Every time you choose your future self over your feed, you're casting a vote for a different identity. Someone who's calm with money, who has breathing room, who doesn't need to prove anything. And that, quietly, over years, is a turning point most people never reach. So next time you catch yourself thinking I need that life, pause and ask, do I actually want their lifestyle, or do I want the freedom I think they have? Because the freedom part, that's available to you. And it starts with one small, unposted decision at a time.